So you're wanting to buy a house. How much money do you need? That's what I'm talking about today. Stick around. Hi, welcome back. My name's Joe Brown. I'm a realtor with Century 21, List with Beggins, which is located in South Tampa. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So I have worked with clients in the past, still working with clients, and I meet people on the street and they say, Joe Brown, how much money, how much cash do I need to buy a house? And you know what? That's a great question. A lot of people want to buy a house. They just can't afford to buy a house right now. So let's just talk first of all about taking a loan. So the typical house in Hillsborough County is $385,000. If you want more stats, more data about Hillsborough County, I did a video on that a few weeks ago. I'll put a link to that here for you. But let's say, you, for simplicity's sake, my simplicity, you take a loan for $400,000 for 30 years at 6.5% interest. Now, I know interest rates came out yesterday. It was over 6.5. I'm trying to be optimistic, right? So $400,000 over 30 years at 6.5% interest. You are looking at a mortgage, a principal and interest payment of just over $2,500 a month. But on top of that, you have to add taxes and insurance, which is going to put your monthly bill about $28,000, $29,000, even close to $3,000 a month. So that's the first consideration. Can you afford $3,000 a month to go towards your home? But let's talk about, even before you get into the home, you are going to have closing costs. And there are different categories, different line items for closing costs. So number one is going to be down payment. And how much down payment is required depends on the type of loan you get. So a conventional loan, sometimes they require 20% down. So that's 20% of the purchase price, or actually it's 20% of the loan amount. But you can also get a 3% or a 3.5% down payment. So again, if you're looking at a $400,000 loan, they want 3% down. That's $12,000 you have to put down. Now, VA loans require no money down. However, there are fees associated with that. So it's not like, I don't have to put anything down for VA. There are still fees associated with that. Now, there are down payment assistance programs, and I did a video on that a couple weeks ago. I'll put a link to that here. And the down payment assistance programs, again, vary in what they'll pay for. Some are strictly down payment assistance, but some will pay for all the closing costs. So again, the down payment assistance, as I explained in my video, applies to a home in a neighborhood per person, right? So you have to really talk to a realtor to find out whether a particular home qualifies for down payment assistance. But some of the other closing costs, you're going to have taxes and insurance. Well, we're at the end of May, we're going into June. So let's say you buy a house in June. Well, in 6 months, the mortgage service company is going to have to pay taxes. Well, they may not have collected enough taxes with your monthly payments, so they are going to ask you to pay a certain amount of money up front so they'll be able to pay taxes when the bill comes in. Same thing with insurance. They are going to ask for a certain amount of time to pay up front when the bill comes in. Now, it could be a few months that they need, or it could be the entire year, right? It just depends on the renewal policy when you're buying the home, situations like that. But there are prepaid items that the mortgage company is going to collect, but they pay it out when the bill comes in. There's also servicing fees from the title company. You have to pay for title insurance, but servicing fees for the loan. There's the title company has to go to the court and file the documents, and there's a fee to file documents. It's called doc stamps, right? So there are these different fees associated with closing costs. So assuming you put about 3.5% down with all the other closing costs, insurance prepaid, tax prepaid, a good estimate is about 7 to 8% of the purchase price you need to have in cash. So again, if it's a $400,000 loan, 7% is $28,000, 8% is $32,000. So you need about $30,000 in cash to cover the different closing costs. That seems like a lot, right? But here's something people don't think about. You're in the house. Well, what do you need? Maybe I need more furniture. Maybe I want rugs for the floor. Oh, we want towels to match the bathrooms, all right? We want matching towels. Maybe we want new dishes. So there's a lot of these ancillary costs of going into a new home. Maybe you want to paint the rooms or whatever, right? So there's other costs associated not just with buying the house, but moving into the house. And I say to be safe, you want to have about 3% of the cost of the home to cover these different, because here's the thing, you do not want to wipe out every dime you have to get the house, because then you move into the house. Let's say something happens. Let's say a pipe breaks as soon as you move in. How are you going to pay for that, right? So not only do you need cash for closing costs, you need cash for items once you move in. You still want to have some extra cash for emergency funds, right? And so I say to be safe, you want to have at least 10% of the purchase price in cash, right? 10%. So a $40,000, $400,000 home, you should have $40,000. And that should cover the closing costs, and it should cover moving in costs, right? And you should still have some money aside that you can say, I have money in case something comes up, right? So is that a large task? Yes, that's a large ask. But as your trusted advisor, I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel secure in buying a home. I worked with a client a few months ago, and she said, how much will I need for closing? I said, well, it'll be about this amount. She said, I can't afford that. I said, then this isn't the house for you, right? So, and maybe it takes, I talked to another family just 2 weeks ago, and they said, we want to buy a house, but we're on a plan. We're saving so much money a month, and in 3 months, we'll be ready. See, that's that forward-thinking planning that needs to happen. Yes, we have to cut back on all of our expenses, right, to get what we want. It's that delayed gratification. So listen, if you want more information about closing costs, send me an email. I have an infographic describes different closing costs. I can send that to you. If you have specific questions, email me. Go to my website, joebrownc21.com. Email me different questions. That there's a button called Contact Me, right? You can call me, email me. Let me be your trusted advisor. Let me guide you through this process. And if you are a buyer and watching this saying, oh, I want to buy a house, I don't have that much money, well, start saving, start making a plan. Again, down payment assistance programs could be the right fit for you. That they're not right for everybody, but they could be right for you. So if there's a particular house, let's talk, see if it qualifies for down payment assistance, because then that takes some of the pressure off you. Okay? So I thank you so much for being here with me today. As I said, visit my website, reach out to me. If you have friends or family thinking about buying, thinking about selling, please mention my name, see if I can help them, okay? I love sharing this information with you because South Tampa, Florida living is awesome.